Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I have some tank gameplay for you. And well, as you can see, we are driving out the M18 Hellcat. Now I have my certain opinions of the Hellcat. I personally think it is a fun tank to drive yourself, but when you fight it yourself it can be rather annoying because this tank is so fast and there's so many of them, they're literally everywhere. But that is one of the most potent things about this tank, because you can do that. You can get into position very fast without the enemy noticing that you're there already and just surprise them. Now onto the gameplay. When I was getting into position here, a enemy actually shot my friendly M18 Hellcat, which is dead over there. So I know that there's enemies at least expecting something more coming from this side of the map. Now, one thing that, as you probably know, you need to be very wary of with the M18 is getting hit, especially by things such as SPAs, because, well, they will wreck you very, very fast. Now, the first target up is a KV-220, which I shoot in the side and set on fire and kill one crew member. Then I take another shot, which actually penetrates the turret ring, but seeing that the tank is armored with 100mm all round, it was a bit of a goofy angle, and my gun only has 127mm of penetration with the APHE. That only really damaged one crew member, but it doesn't matter because he's dead either way. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of pings on the map right there from enemy tanks getting hit. So I'm going to attempt to move into position that I can actually see them and take shots at them. So I'm going to be pushing up a little bit more aggressively here to this little ridge over here. That is actually one of the only pieces of cover that you will get on this map on Fields of Normandy, because there's literally not much else. Now I spot myself a T-34-85 that I shoot right in between where the machine gunner and the driver sit and where the gunner and loader sit, which takes him out. Now I see another T-34-85 and I was actually a little surprised that this shot penetrated, because this gun is a little controversial. It's a decent gun, even though it doesn't do that much damage when it penetrates, but the penetration is actually not all that great. Now I see a T-34-57 moving across, and I'm just gonna lead that target. I get a nice shot into his engine, which means it's stationary. You can see the smoke coming from his tank, which is making it very easy to spot him even through the bushes. Now that grants us our third kill, which is already rather nice. And, well, as you can see on the minimap, I've been rather aggressive in this position. I'm very close to their A point and their respawns relatively. And as you can see, there's the town, and basically that's most of the time where people stop, because it's the only real hard cover that there is on this map, to be honest. Now I just moved back a little bit just to get a better position, and then I actually spot myself a rather sneaky T-34, which I never saw, but he didn't see me either, so I guess it doesn't really matter. But now in the end I'm going to be able to kill him. Now, one thing that is very important that you should really be quite careful with is overextending with the M18, because it's such a fast tank. You can get into position very fast, but it also means that you're very well isolated from your friends, which could prove, well, fatal, because when you get so far ahead of them, you can't rely on them, and there's just, as I said, nobody really expects you to be there already, unless someone is particularly countering M18s, but people generally don't expect you to be there. Therefore, it is very likely that, as you saw what just happened, there's going to be a tank that just drives right past you and you don't see him, but maybe he does. Or maybe it's the other way around, in which case it is beneficial for you, but still, it is something you really need to pay attention to. Now I spot myself a KV-2, first shot bounces, second shot goes into the driver, I fire a third shot and I actually penetrate his turret ring and cook off the ammo, which brings us to a kill count of 5. Now I spot myself a SU-152, and I take my first shot. First shot actually bounces on the overlapping armor of the SU-152, and, well, now that he's aware of my presence, I really don't want to go outright in front of his gun again and try and bait the shot with that big gun, because if he has high explosive load, he doesn't even need to hit me to kill me, or at least damage me. So what I do is I pull back. I try and see if I can shoot over this little hill here, but my tank is just a little too small and the hill is a little too big, so it doesn't work out. Now, I don't actually think he saw me relocate to this position, because he's just gunning for it, to be honest. And that allows me to back up, put a shot into him, which already damages his engine, and, well, at this point, I guess what was going through his mind is I gotta clear the little ridge there so I can maybe turn the tank around and fight, but the M18's gun reloads rather quickly, so he didn't really get the chance. Now, that is our 6th kill, and 6 kills in an M18 is most certainly not bad. But at this stage in the game, you gotta start watching out for people that are maybe gonna come back in something like a gas truck, or a Wirbelwind, or just any SPA for that matter, because you have tin foil for armor, basically. SPAs are by far your biggest enemy, especially something like an Ostwind, because an Ostwind will just... First off, it has AP, but it also has an HE filler inside, which will end your day rather quickly and will end it rather messy as well. Now I see my friendly M18 moving up. That is a very clear indication to me that, well, the team is rather confident in pushing up at this stage, because, well, the enemy is basically at the back of their spawn. So I decide to move up as well. Now I position myself on top of this little ridge here just to get a little bit higher overview, and I actually spot myself a very tiny tank over there. I didn't actually know at the time what it was, but it appears to be an ASU-57. So I shoot the commander, and then I start shooting my 50 cals, because, well, the ASU has even less armor than the M18. But then I get shot by something. At first I didn't know what it was, but it actually is another ASU-57, and, well, my gun fires fast, but his fires even faster, and it is such a tiny tank, it is actually rather sneaky, just like the M18. Now, obviously he did kill me, but he did pay for it with his life. Now for something rather different. I don't think I've ever shown a tank gameplay where I also take out a plane, but this time it was, well, it was good enough that I thought I would show you. I am taking out the P-47D-28 because I actually am still working on upgrading this plane, because I never really bothered to do so. Now, down below me is a tank which is on fire that has been rocketed by one of my friends, and I'm just gonna drop my 2 bombs that are mounted on the wings on top of him. They do land right on top of him, and they take him out, which is very nice. Now, obviously, the P-47 has quite good ground armament, 3 bombs and 10 rockets in total. However, the rockets are, well, let's say not the greatest. Now, I see my friendly Sherman getting shot at, and it takes me actually a while to see this guy, because he's pretty sneaky. He's in some bushes, just hiding, basically. So I'm gonna come loop around to try and take him out so that he doesn't kill the M19 in their camp. However, the M19 is very capable of doing so, but I would still rather take him out first. Now, first rocket salvo was pretty far, I just tried to get a long range one. Second salvo was good on target, that took him out, so the M19 is now rather safe, as long as no other enemies drive towards him. Now, at this point, it's very much a game of spot whoever's gonna go for the cap. And spotting tanks on the ground is rather difficult sometimes for when you're playing. One of the main giveaways is if they're on an open field and moving, or if they shoot, but still, it could be rather tricky to find. But then I find myself a enemy. I actually first go for some machine gun hits to see if he's dead or not, and, well, this is a prime example of why I said these rockets are not the greatest, because those literally didn't even go anywhere near to him. But it doesn't matter, because our friendly P-47 actually takes him out. Now I'm just going to come back around because I still want to support my friendly M19 as he's the only one in the cap, but he does actually get taken out now by this T-34 that just spawned. I spray some MGs at him to see if he is still spawn protected. Now he isn't. I drop a bomb on him which kills him. Now as I pull up, there's an enemy 109 that comes in to ruin the party. But anyways, that's going to be it for today, guys. I do hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you in the next one.